this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to have another bit of a play with my label stamps. So I've got this one that's a kind of ticket type label. I have played with these before, but I'm not sure kind of the order of the videos. So I don't know, whether they're going to go up kind of near this or they may have gone up sort of way previously. But yeah, what I've done, just for those who didn't see the previous video, so these stamps I got from Amazon. I can't tell you, I'm afraid, what they're called because I no longer have the outer packaging, but they are in my first video and I did kind of discuss them, what brand they were. But what I did was I took this stamp out and then I cut this inner section out from the stamp. So if you can see that, see the bit where it says first class, where it's got the text basically, I cut that out. So now what I'm left with is the outer part of the, the ticket, because that way I don't have to always have this as my text. What I can do is then obviously incorporate the ticket sort of stamp with anything else. So I'm going to try and incorporate it with maybe some printables, maybe some postcards. These are some vintage postcards that I've got, and I thought perhaps I could do some bits with those. And then I've also got here some sheet music, which, oops, I've actually brought along too much. Yeah, let me get rid of those. Some sheet music here that as well, I thought, again, we might be able to kind of just position the ticket stamps, in certain places where we'd get nice tickets from that. So I thought we'd just have a plate. Now, I've brought along my StazOns. Now, I've got saddle brown, mustard, teal blue, fuchsia pink, and I've also got my black. And then I've also got this one, which is an Impress, and it's a black, not a black, sorry. It's not black, it's green. It's a green, like emerald green colour. So I think really nice for stamps. So I'm going to have a play around and we'll just kind of see what, what works best. Haven't really kind of tried these before, with these colours and things. So I don't know. I mean, like for instance, the fuchsia pink, it might just look absolutely horrible because it might not look vintage, at all. I mean, I'm suspecting it's not going to. But we'll just have a play around and sort of see what we get. So I'm thinking probably I should work my way up to the more vibrant colours. So I'm going to start perhaps with the mustard. And again, it depends how juicy these stamps are as to how vibrant my images are going to come out, if you see what I mean. So I've brought along just a pile of book pages just so as I can stamp it off in the first place, just to see, what sort of coloration I'm getting there, whether it's going to be, dark enough and show up enough. So like that, I just stamp it off a second time. So it's not too bad, to be fair. So I think with that one, I'm just going to take some of my printable. Now I've got here a few different printables. These are from my Victorian spring kit, and obviously being mustard, I'm thinking I could kind of maybe try and pick up some of that flower with the yellow. So I'm thinking go up there because there's a little bit of text here, which just for me being a ticket, I feel like it should include some sort of text. So I'm going to put it over there, I think. So just go over like that. Okay, and then trying to position it. Oh my goodness, this is really hard to see. Trying to keep my head out of the camera, but also be able to see, and it doesn't help that of course my stamp block is so dirty. Totally my own fault, obviously. Right, so I mean, you can probably see I've just got kind of an outline there of the stamp. I don't know whether I think that that's showing up particularly brilliantly, but it's not too bad, to be honest. But as well, what we could do is we could kind of mix and match some. So again, I'm going to do, are we going to do another mustard one? Perhaps I won't bother with another mustard one because, maybe that's not, not coming out kind of sufficiently. So let's go with a saddle brown. And again, just going to stamp this off. And the reason I'm doing that is just because, I've not used these pads for a little while. And so it will just depend how juicy they still are as to how much they're going to show up. And of course, if they're not really going to show up that brilliantly, I might prefer to use a different colour. So Just get that down like that. Okay, so it's not too bad. And to be fair, I mean, it's quite a similar colour to the mustard. You know, which, I mean, I quite liked the mustard. I just thought perhaps it wasn't showing up, you know, that brilliantly. So I think for this one, I'm going to put it here. So hopefully I get this kind of section with some florals and with the text. Like that. Oh gosh, now look what I've done. I've gone off the edge. So this is a bit of a disastrous video so far, isn't it? Yep, not doing great. Okay, right. Let's go in again. I'm going to try and do the section above it. I don't know how brilliantly I'm going to do that either. Oh gosh, I mean, it's just par for the course, isn't it? Right, I should probably try and actually like look slightly closer. As I say, I'm just trying to keep my head out the camera. And trying to keep your head out the camera and see where you're actually stamping is like near on impossible. Okay, so it's come out a little bit better in there, if you can see that. So yeah, little bit better. So perhaps I will switch up to something that hopefully is more vibrant still. Now, am I going to try the fuchsia? Yeah, I probably should try that first. So I'm just going to go over that brown, and then, you know, we might get an interesting colour. Oh, okay, so the brown's gone completely. It is just fuchsia, but that's fine. Excuse me. Got a bit of a frog in my throat for some reason today. So again, just trying to sort of decide which is going to be the best place to position this. So I'm going to go for down here because I've got that little space down here. So, oh my goodness. Again, I cannot see this at all. Let me just drag it closer. Oh, it's so hard to see, honestly. You know, trying to keep my camera out. No, not my camera out. My head out. And still get it in some sort of place near the printable is, yeah, hard. And obviously I've got the light on today because it's really dark here. So, yeah, that's not really helping either. Right, so I'm going to take this postcard, I think, because this, I think, would actually go quite well on this postcard. And I might just incorporate some of the postage stamp as well. So let's just, again, go over that stamp. Okay. And then just like that. Right, so I mean, that for me, it's looking a bit too pink. That being said, once we ink around that and things, you know, we've cut it out and we've inked around it, I don't think it will look too bad. I think it will actually kind of tone down and, you know, not look so pink, and then it will look okay. So yeah, maybe a winning one. Let's just get rid of that and let's try some teal. So I'm just going to stamp this off so that I don't completely contaminate my teal stamp block or ink pad. Okay. Yeah, it's really dark. It's obviously going to chuck it down with rain in a minute, but it was fine. And then the second I got the camera out, you know how it is, you know, just typical, isn't it? The second I, you know, sat down to kind of film, that's it. It clouded over. So I'm going to just go over here now. Okay. And then probably this one I would have to do this way round, which I'm not sure what I think to that, because obviously it would then be a sort of lengthways ticket. You know, which, yeah, I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure what I think to that, but let's just give it a try. So, well, not too bad. And I mean, that's a postcard that I wasn't going to use anyway. So, you know, it's better than not using that postcard. So let's put those to one side. So let's have a look at this and see what we could do on here. So, I mean, obviously I've got the price here, which seems, you know, a really good, obvious one. I've got this section here, which again seems like a really good place. So let's just take that. I am now thinking I might prefer to actually have these layered, where I've actually got the inside bits stuck on to the outside bits, if that makes sense. So I'm thinking I might actually cut that out and put that on. I'm not sure. So let's do a blue one on here now. Might have to do it just over the text, I think. Okay. And then once we've done a few of these, we can then get playing with them and, you know, add in some extra bits and pieces, you know, and yeah, just hopefully changing the look of them a little bit. So that's the teal. Let's do a green. So I just sent that off. Now this green, I've had this for years. I don't even know if they make this brand, and I've said this before. I don't feel like I've seen this brand anywhere, but to be honest, I can't remember where I actually bought this in the first place. So it might just be that I bought it somewhere that I haven't been to re-get it. But yeah, I don't know why. But I haven't really ever seen this brand before or again since. And it's such a shame because it's the most fantastic stamp, you know, ink pad. And I've had it for years and years. And I mean, touch wood, it's still going strong. I mean, I've probably had it for, oh, I don't know, maybe 12 years. I don't know. I've had it for a long time. Now, I'm not saying I've used it that much, but I've used it quite a fair bit, to be honest. And yeah, I mean, I'm still using it and it's still, you know, still pretty inky. So it's a really good ink pad. I did look briefly a while back to see if I could get this brand anywhere else, but I haven't done for a long time. So perhaps I should have another look and see whether I could get them somewhere else. It's not coming out as green as it normally looks because obviously it's only small, you know, small section that's showing, but it is actually a really, really, really gorgeous colour green. You know, when you do get the whole green showing. So it's showing much better on there. I mean, isn't that just a gorgeous colour? I mean, it's called emerald. It really is quite emerald. You know, where sometimes you'll buy a colour and even though they call it one colour, it maybe doesn't really look that much of the colour that they've described it. This, I would say, they've called it emerald. It's definitely emerald. So let's just do this postcard now. Okay. I mean, how gorgeous does that look on that postcard? Might have to do another green one on there because I do really love it. Like that. I think I might be hanging off. Yes, I was hanging off a little bit. So I'm going to just go over this little section here where I have now got, unfortunately, a line of green where I kind of went over the edge a bit, but hopefully, let's go over here a bit more. Oh, how yummy does that look? Love that. That's probably my favourite one. Favourite one out of all the ones that we've stamped. Let's see, might be able to do another maybe bit or two from here. So let's take that there. Okay. Oh, let's do some more. This green on that colour, it looks fantastic. Really, really, really lovely. And then what I might do is just do a couple on just some coffee dyed paper, if I've got some, which I thought I did have, but now I'm looking, I can't see any anywhere. Oh, it's just always the way, isn't it? As soon as you start looking for something, you're like, oh, where's that disappeared to? Right. Oh, now I can't see any. Hold on. Because what I was thinking is, if I cut the innards out, I probably would prefer something a bit more solid to have as the background. So let me just pull in some. Well, I'm going to use this. It's not It's not ideal. Oh gosh, now look. That's my favourite one and I've just now sort of dabbed it. Right, let's go down here. Might just try one on the floral itself. I don't know how this would look, but oops. I don't know. Perhaps it's better on the plain. I don't know actually. Now I've turned it over, I think perhaps it's nicer on the floral. Okay, right. That's those. Let's do a couple in black and then we will be done with the stamping part and we can kind of then just, you know, get doing some more fun things with these. So let's just take my black stays on, always my favourite. So with the black, just going to stamp over a little bit of the text here. Okay. I mean, you can't beat black stays on, to be honest, you know, in my opinion. I just love it. Every time I use it, I just really, really, really love it. Okay, and then on this one, again, need to turn this now this way up. Again, not sure what I would think to this because, of course, it's now that way. Let's just see if I want to do anything here. About that number. Not sure about that actually. So we'll just finish off doing a bit more on this sheet, and then we've used the whole sheet. You know, so I'm not then stuck with kind of scraps and things. Okay. Oh, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get in there. Right, what I need to do is cover up now. Just cover up here and here so I just don't touch over where I've already stamped, if you see what I mean. And then hopefully I will get this little bit here that I can then tear or cut to use inside a label. Okay, so that didn't really go brilliantly because actually, as it happens, it was too close to the other one. But that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Right. Let's put my lid back on the stays on. Okay. Right. Let's get playing and do some bits and pieces with some of these ones that we've stamped then. So I'm going to use my, you know, not pinking shears, the hair thinning scissors for the cutting of, you know, these wiggly ends. So again, not my idea. It was the lovely Heather. She hasn't got a YouTube channel, but she has got an Etsy. It was her wonderful idea to use these hair thinning scissors and they work perfectly. So yeah, I can't claim it as my idea, but what a genius idea it was. So thank you, Heather, for that wonderful idea there. Okay, and I'm just going to cut some of these down like that. So again, just need to go in on that end with the hair thinning scissors. Cut that bit down there and this bit here. Okay, and then around this one. So I mean, to be honest, when you cut them out, actually, to be fair, if you have you know, stamped like over here where I've stamped sort of partly off onto like the white border and things, actually once you cut them out, that becomes much less apparent. You know, it then becomes quite kind of forgiving almost because you can't really see that much, you know, where you've stamped, like if you've stamped off of an image, if you see what I mean. It's much more evident while you're actually, you know, looking at the full sheet. So, like that. Again, let's just chop that down. And I mean, I might come to use these and actually decide to cut the centres out and use the centres, if you see what I mean. You know, I haven't decided yet how to use these, but yeah, we might kind of decide to actually take the centres and use the centre parts rather than the ticket parts, you know, the frame parts, or, you know, the whole bit. It's really hard to describe something sometimes, isn't it? And you stumble around looking for the right words and they just don't seem to come. Right, let's cut out a couple from the postcard because I love how they looked. So, like that. Okay. Okay. And we'll just take this pink one, which I really wasn't too sure about, but I mean, I'm hoping that once we ink this, it's really going to take on a much more red look, you know, and not really look so pink anyway. Time will tell. We will find out when we come to ink it in a minute. Who knows, it might look just as rubbish as it does now, but I'm hoping it's not going to. So yeah, let's just take that down there. And then that one. And then we'll just cut out a couple of those ones from the sheet music. And then that's probably kind of going to be all the ones that we would get time to play around with. So let's take this one because I really love this. And then let's take a couple from here. Really, really love this. So yeah, definitely got to take this one. Cannot possibly not take that. And then let's just take maybe, oh well, let's take all of these, shall we? Because I think these are going to be really good ones to use. So yeah, let's just take those. Now, right. Let's have a look and see what we've got then, and what we can mix and match and kind of, you know, change and alter and, you know, make look really, really pretty. So let's take this one first. So just going to cut those ends with the hair thinning, whoops, the hair thinning scissors. Okay, let's just trim that edge off. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up, and that's when I hope that this is going to go from pink to red. Well, not necessarily red, but from pink to vintage anyway, let's just call it. Oh gosh, now where's my walnut stain? Oh, sorry, I'm now hunting around for my walnut stain ink pad. Right, let me just get my vintage photo then, which is behind me in my little bag that I take to my mum's house. So bear with me. Oops. Come on, I know it's in there. Knowing something's in there and then actually finding it are two completely different things, I find. But yeah, I've got it now. Okay. And I just found a butterfly whilst I was there. So let's take this and we'll just ink it around here. So this is quite a good use, I think, for, you know, like when you buy those vintage postcards and sometimes you get them like in a bundle and you might not actually like some of them. So, I mean, I didn't like that one particularly. This is quite a good way to actually then use those. And actually what's really nice about them is they're then very solid. You know, this is now a quite solid kind of piece to be able to use. So, yeah, liking that. Okay, right, let's get some words. So I'm thinking, well, I'm not sure about black words actually. I think probably, yeah, probably kind of coffee dyed-ish colours would look better. Let me just see whether I've got any. And of course now I can't find any. But the other thing that I have got is, oh, here we go. Oh, Home Sweet Home. I don't know where that word's from, unless that's from some of my card making bits. I'm not sure. Not sure if I'm truthful. Got that flower, which is huge on there. Got that one, again, it's quite large, isn't it? Oops, got some of my little labels, which, oh, that looks quite nice on there, doesn't it? And then I've got some other little flowers here. So yeah, let's pull these in. Just see what we can come up with. So, oops. I'm just, yeah, sorting out a few things. I was definitely thinking a word, and annoyingly, I now can't really see my words, but I only seem to be able to see the black words, which, to be honest, I'm just not sure that that's quite right for this. Yeah, I think definitely the, you know, the plainer coloured words would be better. So, yeah, I'm thinking we might have to just go with this, but that's fine. So let's move these out of the way a bit. Okay. I like this on there quite a lot, to be honest. I think that looks really pretty. And actually that looks nice. So I'm just going to ink this up. These are my English Country Garden flowers, and I've printed them smaller. So I think I printed them like 2 to a page instead of like the full page. But you know, if you just tear them down then they're quite nice to use in things like this, to be honest. So let's just going to wet glue this one on. Oops. She says, and now my glue's now not working. So sorry, this video is just deteriorating by the minute, obviously. Okay. So let's pop that down here. And I didn't want to have it in the centre, so I've just put it over to the side a bit. And then we'll pop this on here, like that. Oops. Right. Just need to kind of mop that up a bit because it's a bit gluey now. And then we're going to have the butterfly. Now, which end do we want the butterfly? I know it's making this end quite busy, but weirdly I quite like that. So, yeah, I'm going to just pop the butterfly on, I think, with my hot glue. Oops, just like that. How gorgeous does that ticket look? Love how that looks. And then what you could do is put like maybe a couple of violets or something like that, or just a couple of like punchy holes or something, you know, as if it's like a ticket that's been stamped. So on there, and actually they're sometimes kind of random, aren't they? So maybe like one there or something, like it's been punched with the machine. So yeah, that one's really, really nice, isn't it? So let's do another one. So should we do, trying to do kind of different types so that we get a couple of different looks. Ooh, different looks going on. Must have cut that by mistake. So let's take, thinking let's take a floral background. I mean, this one's gorgeous, isn't it? But then having said that, do I want to cover that floral background up? Maybe not. Maybe not. So let's take this background, which is texty. Let's just cut this one down. Okay. And this one. Okay. And there, like that. Right. So again, just ink this up. And I mean, just by inking them, it's just shocking the difference that makes, because straight away, that looks really vintage. You know, to me, I think that looks really vintage. I've not even done anything else to it, but already it's got that really vintage kind of vibe going on, hasn't it? You know, and I've literally done nothing to that. So just, yeah, just adding a bit of ink has changed the look. Now, I'm wondering if we could use some of this in here, although to be honest, we're not going to actually see any green. So now I'm thinking, why would I bother? Well, of course, the only thing is I will get the inner. So I'm going to cut it like this, hopefully still getting a little tiny bit of the green, just like a slither, like that. And then I think what I'm going to do is like rough it up a bit before sticking that down. Oops. So like that. Okay, and then I always love to rough things up a bit. So yeah, let's just rough that up. Oops, a little bit around the edges. Okay, and then just going to ink that a little bit. Maybe not even the whole thing, but just like that, so it's properly vintage looking. Oh my goodness, how lovely does that look? I'm hoping that you can really kind of see this because it looks awesome, I have to say, where it's just got that rough, you know, really rough kind of look going on. Oh, sorry. My glue now is again, no, not wanting to play again. Come on. This is my first video for today. Aha, right, okay. Oh, now it can't come out fast enough. So I've gone one extreme to the other. Okay. Just spread that about a bit. Okay. Like that. Just pop that down. And again, then just sort of, you know, push it down. I don't want the edges like squished down too much. So I'm trying not to kind of squidge the glue out too much because it will go to the edges and then they'll be really pressed down. I want to keep them, can you see? So they've got some lift and some texture, because otherwise I might as well just have not stuck that on. I might as well have just gone with the as it was originally if I'm then going to, you know, really kind of like press it down. So again, just going to ink this flower up. This is just the leftover of what I've got left from the other one. But we could have that on there. So again, just going to... Oops. I'm just going to pop that on there. And again, might just hot glue that down. Like that. Okay. Press that down like that. Whoops. And then again, we can then just put a couple of holes in there. I mean, the holes, they're just supposed to be, you know, that ticket machine, you know, like on the old tickets, where you just kind of get those couple of like punchies, you know, like where they've, you know, the ticket man, he would have then punched them, wouldn't he? So that's what those little holes are for. It just looks like then a used ticket, which, how lovely does that look? Yummy, yummy. So let's do another one. Right. Thinking let's do one of these. So yeah, let's just cut this one down. Now this is that one that I've unfortunately done right on the edge. So I'm going to cut in with this again with my hair thinning scissors, even though actually in reality I'd stamped off the page, if you see what I mean. But we're going to just ink it, and to be honest, I'm going to go round the edge with the saddle brown like that, just to kind of like make that much darker. Okay, and then of course I am going to vintage photo this as well, but that's just kind of like got that edge going on. So again, just inking over. Whoa. Like that. Oh, how gorgeous does that look? Love, love, love how that looks. It's so pretty. And then for this one, I've got some of my little numbers. Again, I don't know how these are going to look, but thinking maybe a little number in there might look good. So again, just cut that out. Now I'm cutting this rather than tearing it, mainly just because the piece of paper was quite small to actually handle to be able to tear it. But I'm just going to again rough that up. So, I mean, these are just like a really good way to be able to use up some of your old sheet music and your vintage postcards and your vintage pieces, really. That, you know, sometimes, I don't know about you, but we buy these vintage things and then I get home and think, oh, how am I going to use that now? So this is just quite a good little way to use some of your vintage pieces in your junk journals, I think. So, and then that one, I'm just going to pop on there. Again, just going to use that hot glue so as I can have it slightly raised like that. Okay. And again, then for the finishing touch, we could just add a couple of the punchy holes. You know, and I'm not worrying at all about where I'm putting them. Just, you know, just anywhere that they fall, really. But that just kind of like makes it look more like a used ticket, doesn't it? So, again, just ink that up. Like that. How scrumptious does that look? So, I mean, they're just like something quite fast, quite easy, and, you know, something that you could just do and have ready, you know, to just pop into a pocket. Or, I mean, in the case of like this one where I've got the old postcard underneath, I would probably glue this to a page. I wouldn't necessarily want to pull that out and have the old postcard. But that said, I mean, you could just gesso over this or something. You know, you could probably peel the back of the postcard off and then gesso over it, or, you know, something like that. You could always cover it with coffee dyed paper, you know, so that you would have then a piece that you could journal on. But yeah, they're just super cute, aren't they, to be honest? So yeah, I hope it's given you some ideas. I will hopefully come back with some other little bits and pieces to do with these, because obviously I've got lots that I've already stamped now. So perhaps we'll come back and have a bit more of a play, you know, on another day. So yeah, I hope that they've given you some inspiration and some ideas. And yeah, have fun if you decide to make some with some of your old vintage pieces of ephemera. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks then. Bye.